Hello, my name is Iris Cowser, and I am going to be doing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech from the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. It was given on August 28th, 1963. I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous moment decree came as a great beckoning light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been scared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro is still not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lies on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languishing in the commerce of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. We all have come to this hollow spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valleys of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to change racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice ring out for all of God's children. There will never rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted citizenship rights. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creativity protests to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. And the marvelous new materialism which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to a distrust of all white people. For many of our white brothers have evidenced by their presence here today that they have come to realize their destiny is part of our destiny. So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state swiveling with the heat of injustice, swiveling with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with the vicious racist, with his governor having his lips dripping with the words, one day here in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands and little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day Every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And before the Lord will be revealed, and all the flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to Mount with. With this faith, we will be able to heal out of the mountains of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the genuine discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we'll be able to work together, pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom forever. Moving that we will be free one day. And I say to you today, my friends, let freedom ring. From the hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the mighty Himalayas of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curved slopes of California. But not only there, let freedom ring from the Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain in Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill in Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last.